Do you ever feel like you have no energy no matter how much sleep you get? You're still tired, you're still dragging through the day? What if I told you there was a way to feel energized all day? And we're going to be covering that right after this. All right, everybody. I hope you had a great Christmas. New Year's is around the corner. This is Life Enthusiast online radio and TV network, restoring vitality to you and the planet. I'm your co-host, Scott Paton. Joining us as usual, health coach Martin Pytela. Hey, Martin, did you survive Christmas?
I did just fine. I was with my family. Things are good. And of course, I hope the people that are listening to us are the ones that are not cramming with one another, elbowing one another, trying to get a sale somewhere, 27% off of a big screen TV or some goofiness like that.
Well, yeah, it's Boxing Day, right? So you box everything up, return, and buy something else.
Mm-hmm.
Before I forget, after the show in a half an hour, we're going to be uncensored on Telegram, and that's t.me/life&co. You can see the link in the comments and also in the description. So, Martin, I had a great Christmas. I was with my 3 grandchildren, my son, his wife, and today when I got up, my son was up. Two of the 3 were at another grandparent's, which is a couple blocks away, and she was in bed until like half an hour ago. And what happened, I think this happens a lot, right? There's a lot of stress. There's this big event happening. Our body knows this is not the time to break down, get sick, or do anything like that. So it goes way past the point of no return. And then when it's all done, you can relax. And then the body detoxes and just it collapses. And I know that many years ago that was happening to me a lot. I would work. And then when the project was done, and then I'd have a big cold, right? You lay in bed, like just totally drained. And what happens when you do that all the time?
That's the civilized humans. That's what we do. We do silly things, and we hold the water back as long as it has to be held, and then we let go, and it sweeps us away, tumbling in the surf. Anyway, Scott, that's just.
And one of our regular listeners, George, says, "Greetings, Scott and Martin. Can't attend today. I have a VA appointment. Happy New Year." So happy New Year to you, George. And
George,
feel free to interact.
Yeah, I'm impressed that VA is working today, but great.
Yeah, that's right. It's pretty wild.
The fear of God has been planted into them. Let's talk about energy. You started off with a really cool intro. How is it that you wake up tired, and why? And what is it that contributes? Well, the one thing we should say is this. It's the mitochondria, the tiny little organelles inside of every single cell in your body that convert food into energy. And they convert either glucose or fat into energy. And the cells that have the most mitochondria are your heart, your organs, and your muscles. That's where the energy is either stored or converted and consumed. And there's also a lot of it in your brain. Anyway, it's the conversion. How good are you at supplying the fuel, supplying the oxygen, and the function of the converters themselves? It's a whole lot like little engines from a car. Anyway, that's the intro, Scott. And then how do we get to poor supply of oxygen, poor supply of fuel, and poor function, right? Yeah, you're muted somehow.
I keep
Still.
forgetting to hit that unmute button. But so some of the causes are like poor sleep, too much stress, poor diet, medical conditions, thyroid issues. And this can drag into like chronic fatigue, right? And probably mindset is part of it as well. Like, you know, oh, everything is really bad. I never, you know,
well, we talked about it just a moment ago. Positive. Yeah, we talked about it just a moment ago, where you say you can actually set your mind and you can create your version of reality, and then when you let go of it, things go sideways. Well, you can create your version of reality where you are known as, I have loads of energy, I'm a high producer, and all of that. You can convince yourself of it and act it and live it. Yeah.
For so long, and then after a while, it's not sustainable.
If you're draining your available energy, at some point it becomes a lie.
So if you're filling yourself up with 2 cups of coffee first thing in the morning and some energy drinks and I would say sugar, you're going to be like, I'm just going, and then you're just going to collapse. Whether you collapse today or you collapse tomorrow or you collapse in 10 years, it's going to happen because it's not a sustainable thing.
Yeah. It's sort of like you can get your horse to run by whipping it, but at some point the horse has to just slow down and graze, because if the horse doesn't graze and digest and rebuild itself, it at some point will refuse to run. Just it's going to happen.
So in this kind of beginning part, if I was listening to myself, I'd be saying, well, Scott, it's my own fault. And to a certain degree, that's obviously, we think you should take responsibility. However, we also live in this invisible soup that we call air that has a lot of things in it that weren't in it 200 or 300 years ago. So 200 or 300 years ago, we were living in a forest, you know, we had fresh air, there wasn't factories that were spewing stuff into the air. We didn't have Wi-Fi, cell phones. Background radiation was probably a lot less than it is now. So let's talk a little bit about how you could create an environment where, first of all, what happens when EMFs are hitting you all the time, like the electromagnetic from suns and Wi-Fi's, and then how can you protect yourself from those or give yourself a break from those?
Well, 2 branches of the autonomic nervous system: fight or flight, one side; rest, repair, digest, the other side. Rest, repair, digest, right? So what happens is the EMFs are triggering what's known as the voltage gated calcium channel, and calcium is the mineral that signals and triggers the fight or flight. And when you're in fight or flight, you're definitely able to spend more energy, and you're able to run away from the danger or confront the danger. But one thing you're not doing is repairing. So you're using short-term resources as quickly as possible to overcome the danger. But we're supposed to have that upon us only for brief blocks of time. And most of our time we're supposed to be spending in the rest, repair, digest, parasympathetic mode. And when you're pushed on by the electromagnetic frequencies, 4G, 5G, both of them, they will cause your body to be stressed, nervous, anxious, fighting for or fighting something. So you asked, well, what to do about it? Well, I mean, you can turn off your own things because you control them. But these days, when I turn on my computer to see how many antennas I can plug into, I usually see 6 or 7. And all around me, there are cell towers and whatnot. So I have very slim chance of being in a terrain that does not include the EMFs.
So is there something that we can do, like
Yeah, we have this
paint our
awesome
walls with
gizmo.
lead paint?
Yeah, we have this also gizmo called Blue Shield. If I knew that you mentioned it, I would have fished it out. It's just over there behind my desk. And it's sending a signal to my uh, autonomic nervous system that says, ignore that stuff, stay calm, heal, repair, be fine, right? It's called phi, Phi. It's the harmonic waves, and it's just automatically sending this signal, and it allows me to not wear out sitting here at my computer, even though there's all this other stuff coming at me. Yeah. So we have that.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are some energetic things that you can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Go into a forest somewhere where there are no towers nearby.
Well, even, I mean, it doesn't have to be going from where you are now to zero. It can be going from where you are now to better, right? So you go into a forest, you're around the trees, maybe there are mountains that are blocking off the majority of the cell towers and all that sort of stuff. And, and you're having a break. The whole point is your body doesn't have a rest, right? So if you can be on a sunny day sitting in a meadow somewhere with trees around, bunny rabbits and flowers, and have a nice little picnic and just relax, then
and every time you come into every time you come into an area where there's weak or bad cell phone connection, rejoice, because you are now actually away from the effects of the EMFs.
Right. So one thing constantly under attack for, and nobody really thinks about, right, is like how much of my mental distress, emotional distress, and my body's tiredness is because of the environment I'm in, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So that's one big part of it, and of course the other big part of it is living a stressful life. Like, what sort of stresses do you have? A job you don't like, in traffic for half an hour to work and half an hour back from work that's crawling and frustrating, and watching violent movies and playing violent video games. These are all things that are going to increase your stress.
Yeah, listen to the political commentators whose job it is to push your buttons. Yeah. We do not need that. We already know how it's going to turn out. Just tune it out.
Right.
All right. Well,
what about things like the thyroid, or if you're anemic?
Well, let's talk about the important bits, right? So the food and oxygen get inside a cell through the membrane. So if you have bad permeability in the membrane, then both the fuel and the oxygen are not getting to the mitochondria. We have this awesome tonic called Nanosoma, and it's on sale this week until the end of 2024. We have a 6-pack of Nanosoma on sale. And even, anyway, it's capable of optimizing all the membranes. The polycosanol that's in it fine-tunes the membranes. So it repairs the permeability, it repairs the receptor sites, it repairs how the mitochondria can get energy, and even repairs the DNA damage that you may have picked up somewhere along the way with your whatever industrial injuries that may have come upon you. So once you have the tonic, you have better ability to receive stuff. Another awesome tool for increasing the permeability of the membrane is sulfur, bioavailable sulfur. And we have that in a product called MSM, methyl sulfonyl methane. It's a white powder bitter as hell. So take a spoonful of it in water, not much water. Drink it quick because it's not going to cheer you up if you try to taste much of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I put the link to that in the comments. So if you're looking for it, you'll be able to see it there,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah. It's one of those innocent things. I remember this woman writing back after I posted about MSM, and she said, 3 days of 3 teaspoons of MSM, and my 20-year bout or struggle with chronic fatigue is over. And this thing isn't expensive. Like, it's, you're spending $1 a day or something like that at most. Yeah, it's a phenomenal product. So if you are, now, word of warning, if you're one of the 4% or 1 in 25 people who don't do well with sulfur, don't keep going. If it makes you feel awful, don't carry on.
Yeah.
But your chance of being just fine with it is 24-1.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit about sleep, because when you're tired, the chances are you need to rest and you need to have a good night's sleep. Most of us don't.
Yeah.
Um,
Remember the 3 words? Remember the 3 words: repair, restore, and what the heck was the third one? Well, anyway,
rest,
when you're sleeping, rest. There's it. That's the word for sleep. And that's the whole point of it. If you are stuck in the sympathetic, the fight or flight, you're not going to repair, you're not going to sleep, and you're not going to be rebuilding your cells. So some people could go to bed and wake up and run through thoughts and be in an anxiety mode. And that is when they are not repairing. So they will wake up tired, I promise.
Right. So one of the things you have to do is look at your bedroom. Do you have blaring? I mean, do you have the TV on all night and you've got the flashing going on? Do you have sirens running outside your door 24/7, ambulances? Are you, like, personally, I love being in a dark room sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm shocked at how many people want to have a light on, want to have a night light on, want to have a blue light on, want to have have music playing all night. Like, it just boggles my mind how anyone thinks they're getting rest.
Well, I can understand the music. I mean, there are, white noise generators, something that will drown out something that's regular, right? Music has a beat to it, and as long as it's not high-speed rock, if you're playing something peaceful, that's going to be all right. But that there are these little white noise makers, and you can be listening to a rainstorm in the distance or sea surf or something like that. That's going to drown out. That's going to drown out the sirens out the window, right?
No, I'm talking about music. I'm talking about movies. Yeah. And then, is your room all cluttered, and does it create stress? Can't find your socks in the morning?
Yeah.
What sort of environment are you creating, I guess is my point, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sleep is super important, because if you don't have decent, deep sleep, you're going to wake up tired because of the energy deficit. When you don't repair, you're already broken getting up. Given.
So let's jump to the opposite of sleep and exercise. Most people spend all day in front of a computer or sitting in their car. They get home, they get on the couch, they watch Netflix for 3 hours, have some fast food for dinner, and then go to bed. And they repeat it day in, day out.
I have such a good memory of, at the end of my busy day at the office, when I used to work in computer or whatever industry, I would actually stop at the gym on my way home. And the stress, the adrenaline of actually getting really physical, I would come out of it, have a shower, and I would feel just the wave of the day wash off of me.
Yes.
So why am I saying that? Well, pushing the stress level high with exercise is actually a good thing, because when you stop it, the body says, okay, that's over. Let's disengage the fight or flight, and let's engage the rest repair. That's the beauty of exercise, of being able to give you this contrast, to release you from the hormonal buildup of the tiny stresses all day long.
Yeah. And it can be going into a gym or hot yoga and sweating and working really hard, and it can be going for an hour-long walk.
Yeah,
Which
it
would
could be that.
Yeah.
And if you're really in trouble, sorry. And if you're really in trouble and need something quick, we do have a product called Cortisol Ease. Cortisol is the hormone that's released with stress or by stress. And so if you're unable to shut off your mind, or if you're unable to let go of it, then Cortisol Ease is a herbal preparation that will just discombobulate all the circulating cortisol. So all of a sudden you will come off of it. I'm thinking of young ones who are on games and going until 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I don't know how late into the night they'll just keep
3 a.m.
Okay. Programmers who are just working against a deadline until late. And now they say, okay, over, I'm going to bed. Nope. You'll be awake. But
you're
cortisol ease, cortisol ease will help anyone who's at that stage to just shut it down.
So, Martin, we're getting a little bit close to the end, but I don't think we can talk about fatigue and everything without talking about stress management and things like deep breathing, meditation, perhaps journaling to drop those stress levels down.
Yeah, every possible technique that helps you cope with life, which the lack of coping causes stress. The abundance of coping causes relaxation, the opposite of stress. Because when you, like Scott just mentioned, journaling, which is awesome, right? Like you just go through your day and then write down your gratitudes. What am I grateful for today?
Right.
And right there, yeah, that's right. Never mind the little bits that got under my skin. What about these big things that I'm actually enjoying in my life?
Right.
And then meditate.
And when we're stressed, we don't breathe, right? Like we hold everything in. So when we do these breathing exercises and techniques, we're bringing all that good oxygen into our body. Right.
Yeah, the opposite of diaphragmatic breathing, when your belly goes out and in, instead of the shallow breathing causes you to breathe right at the top part of your lungs, and your shoulders start going all the way up to your ears. That's the stress breathing, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So there was a couple of products that I wanted to talk about, and you've mentioned a few, but we have a product of the week. And it is a herb product, Earth Friend Herb Support A. Right. And let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know about it before today.
It's an awesome herbal tincture. It's the short comments in the product recommendations will talk about recovery from a difficult situation. Like if you should find yourself or anyone near you depleted by illness or by an injury, by an accident, incident, just life getting you down, this is the stuff that will help dig you out from whatever awful situation you're in. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. And we have one last thing. We've got 3 minutes, which means I would like you to give us a tip.
Well, dear, we have been tipping all this time. Get your sleep hygiene in order. That's super important. If you don't sleep, you just start your day off and you're in a deficit all day long. So work on that. So that would be, if you can't shut off the light, get a face mask. If you can't shut off the noise, get a noisemaker, white noisemaker, and definitely do some evening either journaling or at least meditating on how your day has been and the gratitudes.
Yeah, and I would say walk, right? If you park in the parking lot, park far away, walk to the store, walk around the block.
Yeah.
Get into that whole rhythm of mood body. Really eat.
Yeah, that's a great tip, of course. Exercise helps you burn off the effects of stress.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We're going to be heading over to good old Telegram right now. We can answer your questions and tell you what we really think. And it's t.me/life&co. There it is. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week as we start the new year, and we're going to be talking about the new year, new you, to thrive in 25. So thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll see you over at Telegram. Bye for now.